I was playing boys club football to the age of 17. Then I signed with Hearts Initiative when I turned 17 for 2 years. After the 2 years I took off to America and just recently returned. I first started playing when I was 6 or 7 years old. I was down at the local community centre with Hearts in the community. It's always been football for me ever since I was a wee boy. Kind of lost track about football when I was 18, maybe 19. Had the tendency to go out every second weekend with all my pals, and I shouldn't have been doing that. But right now it's just all about football, just fully focused on football. It was always 7-a-side in primary school, and as soon as I stepped up to high school, that's when it started to play 11-a-side. Yeah, it was a good experience because at that age all you're interested in is chasing the ball, and I think if you were to play more than 4 or 5-a-side when you're 4 or 5-year-old, then I think the park just gets crowded and everybody ends up chasing the ball, and it just kind of takes the fun out of the game, I think. So yeah, 4 or 5-a-side at that age is good. Playing secondary school was the best days of my life, to be honest, football wise, because, well, apart from the manager, they always put the fun in the game. The players I was playing with, it was just fun. It took all the pressures away from playing club football, and it was really enjoyable. And since high school football, I can't remember the last time I've ever felt like that, actually being on the park and playing football. So I think high school football was definitely the best years of my football career so far. At the time I was probably playing for about 3 teams if you include the county team, and as far as overtraining goes, then at that age I don't think there's such a thing, because all you really want to do is play as much football as you can get, especially school football, because like I said, it's the most enjoyable. I was 15, and after the head coach of the youth initiative came and spoke to me down at my house, I was expecting the world, to be honest. I was approached from one of the managers after the game, and they asked if he could come down to the house to have a word with me and my family. And when he came down, basically what he told me was if I stayed boys club any longer, then I wouldn't be gaining from it, I wouldn't be learning, and if I was wanting to do that, then now was the time to go initiative. I was told I had to give up playing for the high school, Musselburgh Grammar, and I didn't like it one bit. So there was times when I would go down and sneak a game in with them, because it just didn't apply to me at all, didn't appeal. Yeah, I feel pressured because the manager for the club would be phoning the school and checking up all the time to see if I was playing, to see if I wasn't playing, and it kind of took the enjoyment out of it, because I had to stand on the sidelines every now and then when he was down watching. It was like somebody was looking over my back all the time, and that kind of knocked the stuffing out of it, yeah. Missing out on all the banter with the boys, all the training sessions, just having a laugh basically, because that's what it's all about, school football, I think. No really, because on a match day you weren't really playing for nothing, it was just all friendlies, whereas going back to club football you were playing either in a league or you were playing cup games every single weekend. So from that perspective it kind of took the edge off things. It was a big club, it was a big name, and anybody asked you who you were playing for, you would tell them Hearts. They'd kind of take a step back and listen. I think that was one of the big things about playing youth initiative. I'd say the bad things were travelling, because at the time we were having to travel through the west, well, through to Bathgate from Edinburgh, and the friendly matches weren't too keen on them. On times there was one of the managers I never got on with at all, and definitely not being able to play for a school. I got on fine with my teammates when I saw them, but it was only on a Tuesday, Thursday and on a match day, so compared to the school I wouldn't say that's enough. There wasn't as good a bond as what you would get with playing schools football. No, they weren't local. There's a few boys local, the Edinburgh boys, but apart from that there was boys from Glasgow and just through Falkirk way, places like that. I'd say we did all feel like a team, but there was always in the back of your head that everybody was playing against everybody else for a contract, so you know there was always that. I was treated fine by my coaches up until I got a manager towards the end of age 16, maybe start of 17, and it just didn't take to me at all, and since then it just kind of knocked the stuffing out of everything, football wise. I'd say for the most part that there was a wee bit of pressure there, because although that the youth initiative setup was meant to be to take that away from the game, to take the pressure away from the game, to try and make you relax and progress as a player, there were still times when the manager would come on and roast us at half time or after the game, and we'd be in running the next game training session because we got beat or because we never done so well. But it's like that everywhere you go, so I can't really grumble at that. Definitely. No really, because it was just the same amount of coaching I was getting at boys club. It was 2, maybe 3 times a week with Royston, and it was just the same as when I went into the youth initiative setup. I played youth initiative for 2 seasons. I ended up going in full time when I was 17, 18. I would say so with some clubs, but I think there's a lot more work to be done. Just 1 or 2 out of a squad of 17. As far as I'm aware of, there's none of them with the club anymore, which is surprising, because back then you thought there was going to be 1 or 2 that would definitely make it, but things change. I wouldn't say that there was as many people coming in for trials as what there was maybe for guys that weren't enjoying themselves at the time and wanted to leave. Maybe say like once every 6 months there'd be people coming in, showing face for trials, or every time there was a break, and then we'd start back up again. There'd maybe be a trialist there. But if people weren't happy, then all they had to do was say, and that was it. They'd be released like that. Probably would have done a load of things different, including staying another year at boys club until I was 16, getting another year out of that, and definitely playing for my school. I wouldn't stop playing for my school. I'd maybe stand up to them and say, if you want me to play for Hearts, then you're going to have to allow me to play for my school as well. I would say maybe playing training like another couple of times of the week, maybe four times in the week, and I would say stay in boys club a little longer as well, because I don't think it's right that they should be pressurised in coming to a youth initiative set up when the boys that aren't as good as the boys that are going to be playing week in, week out could still be playing boys club and being one of the better players, you know, every single week, every single Saturday. My name's Steven Slater, and that's my thoughts on Scottish youth football.